How you guys doing today? Today we're going to be talking about the skills that you need to get hired, the soft skills that you need for your promotion and your hiring. And let's ask ourselves a question: is where we can learn these skills? And predominantly, the big industry where you can learn these soft skills is retail. Personally, I work at Lowe's as a outside lawn and garden associate part time, and on a day basis, I have to be able to adapt to different customers to their specifications and what they need, from plants to fertilizer they need for their grass. And as well, it kind of those skills kind of ties in as well. If I become a CPA, become a do people taxes, they'll have different things that they want me to do, like the itemization or certain deductions on their tax return. And as well, in the article, it grabbed a survey that Career Builder did, and in this survey, they got that 77% of the companies value for the soft skills. They'll look for more your personality, your character, and your interpersonal skills. And in addition, that's 77%. 60% of the companies value more. They value more of soft skills than hard skills that you acquire in your school or from other jobs. And to that, it adds up to 93%, and you can see it's really high demand for these soft skills that these corporations look for. But there's still a certain little vague problem. Companies really think about that. Us as undergrads is that we lack soft skills, and predominantly they think of millennials. As you know, millennials are really techy, but from that they kind of feel that there's a certain disconnect that they have with them during the work environment. And here's a quote from Alaza Block, who's a senior vice president from Google. And predominantly for this quote, to him is that your GPA doesn't really worth anything that much. It doesn't really dictate how well you're going to be able to work at your job to your best performance. It pretty much doesn't predict anything. And here's the 9 soft skills that we're going to talk about today: is work ethic, dependable, positive attitude, self-awareness, communication, multitasker, teamwork, collaboration, and finally not least, adaptability. So if we jump into the work ethic of things, work ethic, there's 3 things that pretty much identify work ethic, and it's your belief, standards, and your values. Through the hiring process, work ethic is really hard to identify and hard to measure. But if you have a good work ethic, there's 2 things you can get from this: is promotion and a raise at your job. And I'll hand it off to Melina, and she'll talk to you all about dependable.
So the next soft skill I'll be talking to you guys about is dependability. So in order to be dependable, you must be trustworthy, reliable, and organized. In the business world, whether it is through retail, fast food, or even an accountant, these are the top 3 qualities that an employer looks for. For example, I worked in retail myself, and I proved that I was dependable to my employer by taking care of the store while he went on vacation for over a month, by doing things such as inventory, shipment, transfers, payroll, and I proved to him that I was dependable by showing him these skills. The next soft skill is positive attitude. To have a positive attitude, you have to be optimistic and happy. And for example, like I practice my positive attitude at work all the time because I'm a salesperson, and I have to show customers that like I have to smile all the time and make a personal connection so that I can make sales. And if I don't make sales, then I won't make commission. So Practicing these skills in your day-to-day job now will help you gain these skills, practice your skills now to help you get your dream job later.
Thank you. Alright. So there's this quote Nikki Giovanni once said, "Once you know who you are, you don't have to worry anymore." This ties into the fourth soft skill that leads you to higher and promotion, which is self-awareness. Self-awareness is basically understanding who you are and what you offer to yourself. And for example, the good and the bad. In this class, all of us took the strength assessment and we learned our top 5 strengths. My number 1 strength was empathy. There are pros and cons of having empathy as your number 1 strength. Pros is that you can understand and explain problems, and cons that there is a changed perspective, meaning you change the way you look at everyone else. And I have volunteered at different places such as food bank and temple. By volunteering at those places, it showed me that how to be more empathetic. The next soft skill is self-confidence. There's this quote that someone said, "Confident isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone else." I like that quote because it kind of like shows like being confident in yourself it ties back to the soft skill that Melina talked about, is keeping a positive attitude. And confidence can be shown through verbal and non-verbal cues. For example, keeping your head up straight and then standing straight while you're presenting. Alright, well, now I'm going to hand it off to Jennifer.
I'm going to talk about communication and multitask skills. Communication is a key skill to success. It is one of the most important skills not only in everyday life but also at work. Communicate well, prevent from misunderstandings, and might make your salary higher. Then, how can you communicate well? Author of this article emphasizes to be precise and clear. Don't go around and be specific. Also, be proficient. Do not mumble and use professional words. Also, be a good listener. By listening carefully, you can show you're respecting a person you talk to. Multitask. What is multitask? Multitask is the ability dealing with the several tasks at the same time. It is hard to multitask, mostly impossible. Then, why is it an important skill? What do companies want if it's impossible? In real world, it's not saying you should do everything at once. Like I said, it's not possible. What the companies expect to you is if you can manage several tasks efficiently and effectively during the day.
Okay, so I'm going to be speaking about teamwork and collaboration first. So teamwork and collaboration can help with building relationships, conflict resolution, and getting organized. Has anybody ever heard of the Marshmallow Challenge?
Yes.
And it sounds a little bit crazy at first if you don't know what I'm talking about. So at my job, we have something called Team Day. It's once a year where we all get together, and it's assigned seating from different departments. You all sit together, and it's about 8 hours where you're doing things like the Marshmallow Challenge. You're pretty much just building with spaghetti noodles and trying to get your marshmallow at the top of the tower and for it to stay. Now, you wouldn't think of this as a teamwork, really, but you're having to work with people you don't really know, and you're trying to do something impossible. So that really helps with building relationships within the credit union, which is where I work. And so when we have conflicts, when it comes with members or just in general, you already have that line of communication open and you're already building a rapport with other people because you did a marshmallow challenge. Teamwork also helps with getting organized. When you're working with people and you have that communication, you're able to organize a task better. Little tasks such as decorating for Halloween, for example, seems pretty small, but then you have things such as trying to figure out why your general ledger is out, and trying not to blame or be upset with other departments. So that really helps in already having that communication open and already being a team, so when big things happen, you're not having such an issue. Also, adaptability. Adaptability is good for management changes, job descriptions, and department changes. I know everybody's had an instance where you get a new manager. You may or may not like them, but you have to be adaptable to the fact that everybody manages differently. Job descriptions. So when you get hired on, sometimes your job description changes a little bit throughout the years. You're doing more things than you were hired on for. Being adaptable helps with showing that you can be reliable, and it shows that you can be promoted as well. Department changes. For example, I was just promoted a few months ago from a member account service position to accounting. This was really different for me because member account services was very relaxed and accounting is not. So I learned how to dress differently and have different email and phone standards. So we are going to have a few games in our next presentation, but we did want to show everybody, so that's all we have.
Thank you.